left-wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
Besides avoiding COVID, the other thing that he avoided was Harris. It seemed like he was avoiding her the whole damn time. So that's moment number 2. Trump avoided Harris. So Donald Trump acted like he didn't want no parts of Kamala. Like, Trump wasn't going to shake hands. He was going to walk over to his podium. She walked herself all the way over to his podium and said, you about to shake my hand. When he was answering questions, it seemed like he was staring out into the abyss. I guess he was looking at the moderators or something. I don't know, because I couldn't see what he was looking at, but he never looked at Kamala. It's like he just avoided eye contact while Harris initiated the handshake. She looked directly at Trump when she was talking, and then she looked at the camera to show that she was talking to the people, that she was talking to us. Trump seemed like he was trying to avoid everyone during the whole thing. So, Walonda, how did this perception of avoidance impact his performance?
Yeah, it definitely addressed the perception of his gender dynamics or lack thereof. He's already been accused of misogyny, whether you want to think he's a misogynist or not. Just actions like this. I mean, now we see this on camera, how he addressed her or didn't address her. We all know when you look in somebody in their eyes, okay, as far as in our culture, right, that shows a level of respect. You know, I'm paying attention to you.
Yeah.
He did that probably intentionally, or again with his, again, if you don't want to say he's a misogynist or he has problems with women in general, his actions said differently in that, just by his body language
Never
alone.
thought about it that way.
Right. So that's how my perception of it as a woman, I felt that, like, he didn't want to give her the attention.
Yeah.
He didn't feel like she should be respected. I mean, I don't got to listen to you. Who are you?
Right.
Again, with the mispronunciation or intentionally of her name and things of that general. Just again, there's the generalizations, and his actions itself speak a lot to how he feels about her, or maybe women in general. Now, we don't want to get on the topic. He's had 3 different wives, and I know some people have been divorced, and I'm not talking about y'all in that, but you just got to understand, he doesn't have a real good track record with women, and even women who supposedly he loves. So I'll just leave it there. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna take it here. He was shaking her hand like the black was gonna rub off of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all got the white people at work to shake your hand like that, like the black gonna rub off. All black people know we talking about.
Like they touch you with 2 fingers.
Yeah,
like,
this stays on, brother. You know, this ain't paint on and shit. This is real. Then and then also along with being a woman, we also know the fact when I would say other races, but especially people of power, as a black person, overlook you and don't see you in the room, and that's kind of how that was taken. Like, I'm not even gonna look at her. I'm not gonna acknowledge her. That can be taken away. But if you look at Donald Trump, he's like that a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing new. So yeah, he avoided her, and I think in all circumstances, at the end of the day, he knew he wasn't standing up against Joe Biden. Like, he done bit off more than he can chew this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, things that he can do with Joe Biden, he couldn't shoot at her. Like I'm saying, he could fall on age. He could fall on the fact that he was the one with more more vigor. You know what I'm saying? But he couldn't do that with Kamala. So I think that was somewhat intimidating. And as much as the GOP tries to paint her as not knowing that much, she is a skilled, educated black lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Female black lawyer, successful black lawyer. She didn't get that by accident. Like they were trying to say she was a DEI hire. Ain't no mistakes there. She knows what she's talking about, and he knew when he was going up against her, man. Like he was going up against the real deal. So I think that made him a little nervous. Also, he can play and joke around with Joe Biden and play on that and let his humor and his entertainment side play on that. But now you're sitting down with somebody who's going to hit you with some serious questions and come at you. So I think that was a little intimidating to him also.
Oh, definitely. Like you said, she definitely prosecuted. Okay, she opened and she closed, and the end on that. So she set the narrative as far as like the racial injustice, women's rights, and healthcare, and people can resonate that whether you're black, white. We have all different shades of females, and women. Sorry. There's more of us than there is men in the world and the population today. So he has to be very careful on who he's speaking to and how he's speaking to her.
Yeah, and I think that whole GOP ticket is having issues with women right now. Him and J.D. Vance, they got a real barefoot and pregnant agenda for women. You know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
think that's not resonating good for that campaign. You know, especially when they're talking about their divorce and talking about childless cat women and all of that. It's like they almost went on an attack with women. So now, what do you get for that? You probably get the most powerful woman in the United States. You have to deal with and you have to debate with her. So I think that not only shook them up for that debate, but shook them up for the whole campaign.
Right. Well, just know avoiding her, it brought more attention to her. Like, I think it just backfired on him. So the avoidance actually brought more attention, and people are paying attention, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So women have a lot to say.
Peter
Yeah.
has a question for you, Walonda. He
Yes.
said, is that not because of his history in terms of legal action for the involvement with other women?
So Peter Milner, what's going on, Peter?
Hi,
Asked
Peter.
if Trump's action has anything to do with his past history with women in the political atmosphere.
I would definitely say that. I mean, I would definitely agree. And we know that she's a strong figure. I mean, she's a prosecutor. That's her job, whether you're male or female. I mean, just his I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole with that, with the initial back in 2016 when he was, running and talking about grabbing by the P word. I mean, he doesn't respect women. It's clearly by his actions, how he treats women. If you look at his present situation with his wife, and I'm sorry, married women, we know when we're supporting our man and when we're not. And her actions speak louder than what she says or doesn't say, or her presence. And we just got to keep that in mind. You got people who are around him, supposedly love him, and look at his actions with them or how they respond to him. And I'm very observant, so I know everybody is not, but you can just tell by that how he feels about women. He doesn't talk about them a lot. He doesn't want them in the room. If you look at who he surrounds himself by, if they're not beautiful women, right, or very attractive, he's surrounded by men and men that want to say yes to him and do what his bidding.
You know, let's be real. Every guy has a womanizer Trump friend. Like, I'm not saying specifically, but you got the guy that has those tendencies, and you kind of know, and you see that on Trump, like the guy that just really looks at women and objectify them, doesn't have any respect for their relationship, kind of plays that game and always talks down on women. Every guy has that guy. And so when you look at Trump and you see some of the actions he's doing, I think a lot of guys who maybe push it to the side or just ignore it can relate. If you probably ignore it, you probably are that guy. You know what I'm saying? But every guy does have the womanizer Trump guy, and it's that's one of his friends or maybe one of his ex-friends. So it's not like his behavior is not being seen and understood.
Definitely.